So in our today's session, we are going to discuss about the fundamentals of this AI, right? So as I just told you that this is basically our three things, that is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. So this artificial intelligence is a like umbrella, right? Inside of this lies machine learning. And inside of this machine learning, we have something called as deep learning. So deep learning is actually the core, and machine learning is a part of artificial AI, right? So AI as a whole, then inside of this AI, we have machine learning, and inside of this machine learning, we have deep learning. You guys must be wondering, sir, what are you telling? Like, I'm not getting that, right? Just tell me what it is actually, right? So let's just discuss how these things actually work. AI, as the name suggests, artificial intelligence, right? Just like you people have intelligence, you have human intelligence. So when the machines have given the capability to think, to do certain tasks, it comes under AI. And how it is actually doing that stuff? How? Let me just tell you with the help of very, very, very simple example. So Gautam, Shivansh, and Devik, tell me one thing. Right now, if I ask you how a dog looks like, can you tell me? Type yes if you can tell me confidently that how a dog looks like. Right? Yes in the chat box if you can tell me that. Can you tell me that how a dog looks like? I'm waiting for your response, guys. No, you don't recognize how a dog looks like. Dog, I'm talking about. I'm talking about dog. You don't know, guys. Right? You can interact with me in the chat box, right, guys. In the chat box, you can just write yes or no. Yes. How about Gautam and Devik? You don't know how a dog looks like? Gautam and Devik? Dog says buff buff. Absolutely. When it comes to dog, when I just depicted the word dog, sir, dog looks like a scary on the outside, but inside. Absolutely, absolutely. So when I just communicated the word dog to you, you clearly framed a picture in your mind. Definitely, that dog is like that. Dog looks like this. Or if I ask you how a cat looks like, you are very much confident that this is a cat, right? So you can easily recognize that this is a dog, this is a cat, or any particular thing. This is a phone, right? So you can also recognize that these are phones, right? Or whatever it is, you know that stuff. Tell me one thing, that on the day when you were just born, on the day when you were just born, at that point of time, if I would have asked you this question, that how a dog looks like, then at that point of time, can you tell me that this is a dog and this is a cat? No, not at all, right? But now in today's generation, if I ask you that how a dog look like, you are very much confident that this is a dog and this is a cat, sir, right? But at that point of time, you didn't know that. So what happened with you? Then that's why you are very much confident that this is a dog. What actually happened is you repeatedly saw the photos in real world about that dog. Your parents made you realize in textbooks as well as in outside world also that this is a dog and this is a cat, right? Your parents also, your friends also made you realize, you discussed with them. So what actually happened? There is a pattern which got repeated in your mind again and again, again and again, again and again, that this is a dog, this is a cat, this is that this particular thing, right? So there is a pattern in your mind which get repeated again and again, and that is how you actually learned. That is how I actually learned. That is how all human beings actually learn, right? that these are these particular things. So we see the things multiple times and we learn through them that yes, oh, this is this particular thing. So on the basis of patterns, repeated patterns, we learn the things. Now, why I'm even telling you this example is because these machines also learn in the same way. Just like we as a human learn this now, at machines also, what we generally do, there is a large chunk of data we feed to machines and we recognize the patterns. We made realize this machine, this pattern, that this is a dog, this is a cat, again and again, again and again, until and unless the machine responds back that, oh, this is a dog. The machine becomes intelligent of depicting and predicting that this is a dog, this is a cat, right? Absolutely. AI is like you. AI is having intelligence also. AI can now think, right? I will be making you show all the stuff. So just like you learned the things now, in the same way, machine also learn the same thing, right? With the help of patterns, right? If I talk about this deep learning technology, right? These all things, AI, machine learning, and deep learning are all interrelated, right? As I just told you, it's an umbrella, and inside of that, we have machine learning, and inside of that machine learning, we lies deep learning. So all these things are linked with each other. If I talk about this deep learning, then this technology, my dear friends, is inspired from human brains. Do you have uh, heard about this neurons in human body? Neurons? Anyone? Type yes or no if you have heard about neurons. I don't know, sir. Okay, no issues. I'm too small for this. No issues, no issues. There we go. No issues at all. No issues, right? I'm not your biology teacher, but I will be letting you know what a neuron is, right? Actually, what a neuron is in your studies, and when you go to class fifth and sixth, now you will definitely read about this stuff. So just consider that you as a human, when you touch something very cold, let's say I touch something, a cold water, then how my mind actually got to know that this is something very cold? Or if I touch something very hot, then how my mind came to know that this is something very hot? It is just because we have neurons in our body, right? So when I touch something very hot, so the neurons quickly send a signal in my brain that this is basically something hot that this person has touched, or this is very cold that this person has touched. So neurons basically send the signals, yes, because of nerves, kind of nerves, but it is neurons. You will definitely read about this when you reach in class fifth or sixth or whatever, right? So this same thing applies to this deep learning technology also. This works on a principle called neural network. You can just write this thing if you want. This works on a thing called neural networks. Now, what is this neural networks? Is basically the responsibility is to pass on the information very, very quickly, right? So when they receive the information, they pass on the information very quickly, just like neurons pass now, the same way it passes, right? That information, right? So that is basically the neural networks, right? Now, as I said, we discussed about how these machines are learning. So we realized that machines also learns the same way in which we humans are learning, right? Just like we learn from patterns, we learn from multiple number of patterns that has been repeated with us. That the same way machines also learn, right? We discussed about deep learning. Now, as I told you, that this AI thing is not at all new for you. You have been using this AI from the past couple of years, but you didn't notice that. And what was it? If you just take some real life examples, then you will find that AI is present in almost each and everywhere. How many of you are here who have used YouTube? Okay, so Devik has used. How about Shivansh and Gautam? Devik has used already. Okay, Shivansh has also used YouTube. Gautam has also used YouTube. Perfect. So now, if you see, if you play any video on YouTube, then on the other side, you get an option of recommendations. Have you saw that recommendations tab? So YouTube suggests you some videos based upon your interest, whatever the kind of history, whatever the kind of usage pattern, whatever the kind of videos you have watched previously. So YouTube suggests that recommendation for each or everybody of you, and that's different, by the way, for everybody of you. So it will be different for Gautam, it will be different for Shivansh, it will be different for David, right? So how they are even personalizing this? Again, this AI technology is being used. If I talk about Netflix, if you open your Netflix account, then Netflix shows you, based upon your past watching history, we recommend these shows, right? How Netflix is recommending you these things now? How this personalization is like possible? Again, the AI technology is being used, my dear friend, right? Same goes with other all other music streaming platforms also, like Spotify and everywhere, right? So this personalization has been possible with the help of AI. So it's not new, my dear friend, for you. It's absolutely not new. In fact, when you travel in your car and you use Google Maps, right? So Google Maps showcase you each and everything, right? Google Maps shows you that you need to avoid this route because this is having some traffic or congestion, right? You need to take this one route or this direction is there. How that is even possible, right? Sir, I watch only Angry Birds on Netflix. Absolutely, absolutely. So you will see, na, it suggests something, right, based upon your past watching history. So that is personalization again with the help of AI. Now you can realize, now you can see that thing because now I have made you realize that these AI technology is being used over there. Same with Google Maps. With Google Maps, how it is able to like tell everything because of the AI technology. In fact, this deep learning which we talked about in your iPhone, you are having something called as facial recognition system. It only opens with my face only, not with my father's face, not with my mother's face, not anybody else, only with my face. So facial recognition system is again, we are using this deep learning technology over there. In fact, this Alexa, Siri, all are using AI, my dear friend. All are using AI. What that actually means, AI is not at all new for you. You have been using AI from the past couple of years, but you have not realized that thing, that this thing is possible with the help of AI, right? So you have been using it, right? Perfect. So this is your first homework for today's session, first of all. I have OnePlus 13 where I can apply fingerprint and code to open. Absolutely. Right. And in your iPhones, you generally find you have something called as facial recognition system in which it opens the phone within few seconds, right? Just because of the this AI technology. Here comes our first homework for the day. And that is you need to research. It can be on online research also, or you can just explore some offline examples and find out the real life examples around you where you are finding these AI, machine learning, deep learning technology, right? I have given you some real life examples very well, right? Now you find out some more examples, right? Then you will develop some more interest that, oh, these things are around me, right? All the time. Perfect. I repeat, yes, definitely. So what I just said is the homework for today's session, you just need to find out some real life examples, right? around you, what real life examples around you, you will find that just like I gave you some real life examples now, you can relate with them. YouTube recommendations, Netflix recommendations, and other things. So you also need to find out some real life examples where this AI technology is getting used, right? Perfect. Now we will be keeping this today's session short enough, not that much long, that much heavy. One more important concept I would like to showcase you. Somebody told me that they use this Chat GPT and Gemini a lot of times, right? You use this as your friend, right? You use this Chat GPT and Gemini. Real life examples like YouTube, absolutely, which I just gave you. So you also find some real life examples. It can be the same also, which I just provided you, but just figure it out. Just research at your own, right? Use your own mind, right? Right. Think this. Somebody told me in the chat box that, sir, we use Chat GPT, we use Gemini, we use Claude, just like a friend it is, right? You told me that. So one important thing that I would like to emphasize over here is one technical thing is LLM. Does anybody have any idea what LLM is? Any idea about what this LLM is? Because this term you will be listening from me kind of on a daily basis. On a daily basis for the next all sessions for the next 28 days, you will be listening this term from me. That Google Notebook. Google Notebook? No, actually not. No issues. I appreciate that you have engaged, right? No issues, no issues. LLM is not something new for you again. You are the expert of it, right? This LLM is basically large language models. This term you will be listening from me on a daily basis, right? Large language model, right? Now, what is this large language model? Use Alexa. Absolutely, Alexa is an example of this AI. Siri also. Shivansh is writing large language model. Absolutely, Shivansh. Absolutely correct. Any idea what this large language model is? It is nothing. Okay, yeah, it's nothing, guys. It's means so many language will be there. Absolutely, it will be there. It's nothing. It's just this Chat GPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, whatever these AI tools you are using now. AI tools by mean like these Chat GPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, right? All these are basically the large language models. It's nothing else. It's not a rocket science. The technical term which we use in this AI field for these kind of tools, no, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and everything is basically large language models. Now the question arises that what, in fact, why they are even called as large language models, my dear friend? Why they are even called as large language models? I'll guide you on that as well. Large language model. Large, the word large in this large tells that these models, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it is Gemini, whether it is Claude, or any other tool, they have been feeded with large chunk of data. Large chunk of data. They have been trained with large chunk of data, right? They have been trained with large chunk of data. That's why they are able to generate and predict answers for you, right? That's why the word large has been used in this. Second, the word language. Why the word language is being used over there is because they always respond you. in a human language. Whenever you ask something from this chat GPT, it is very likely that it is going to answer in the same language, right? It is not that it is going to answer in some binary code or some computer language. The same way you ask questions from this, the same way it is going to answer it back, right? In fact, mm, hi GPT.
Hi.
GPT, I am taking a class and it's 8 p.m. and we are having three students, Devik, Gautam, and Shivansh. Can you greet them?
Good evening, Davik, Gotham, and Shibansh. Glad you're here tonight. Let's make this class count.
Can you greet them in Hindi as well?
नमस्ते देविक, गौतम और शिवांश। आप सबका यहाँ स्वागत है। चलो आज की क्लास को मजेदार और शानदार बनाते हैं।
Okay, but what if I want to greet them in Marathi?
नमस्कार देविक, गौतम आणि शिवांश। तुमचं सगळ्यांचं मनापासून स्वागत आहे। चला आजची क्लास छान करूया।
Okay, and how about Telugu?
నమస్తే దేవిక్, గౌతమ్ మరియు శివాంష్. మీ హృదయపూర్వక స్వాగతం. మనం ఈరోజు క్లాస్ని చురుకుగా ఆసక్తికరంగా నిర్వహిద్దాం.
Okay, perfect. So let's come back to English. So can you just tell me about this classes, because it is going to be their first day, right? So can you tell them something about AI that is going to fascinate them?
All right, so picture this. AI today can look at a rough sketch you draw and turn
Can
it
you tell
into
me
a
in
simple
Hindi
working
and English
website.
both?
Sure. See, AI today can take a simple idea, like a doodle or a few words, and turn it into something real, like an image or a web page. Think of it as a super quick helper that builds from your imagination. अब इसी को हिंदी में सोचो। आज का AI आपकी छोटी सी सोच या एक स्केच को लेकर तुरंत एक असली चीज बना सकता है, जैसे इमेज या वेब पेज। ये एक तेज मददगार जैसा है जो आपकी सोच को आकार देता है।
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the word language in this large language models I just showcased you, they translate in Gujarat. Yeah, absolutely. In any language, they can just translate, right? So the large language word is used because they interact with you in human language. It is not that it is going to respond you in some binary language or computer language, right? Perfect. Now comes the third word in this large language, model. Why it is called as model is because I told you that ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude is basically the large language model, right? But if I go one step little bit deeper into this, they are not. This ChatGPT is not, Gemini is not, Claude is not LLM. Actually, this is a product of a company. ChatGPT is a website. Gemini is a website, and Claude again is a website, right? So there is some company that is Anthropic who launched a product called Claude. A company called Google launched a product called Gemini, and a company called OpenAI launched a product called ChatGPT. Right? So these are the websites, these are the products or services which the companies are offering. But as these models have been trained with large chunk of data, so the models, for example, in Claude, if you see, you are having a lot of options to select the model. You are having Fable 5, 5, Sonnet 5, Haiku 4.5, right? In Gemini also, if you see, you are having models like 3.5 Flash Lite, 3.6 Flash, 3.1 Pro, right? In ChatGPT, directly you won't find to select the model. But again, it also has models, right? It also has models. If you see, GPT 5.6 Soul, GPT 5.6 Terra, GPT 5.6 Luna. So actually, these models are the large language models, right? ChatGPT is a website. Gemini is a website, but the models inside of these are large language models, right? So now you actually know what a large language model is. And why they are even called as large language models? Perfect. So most of the time, in general, in the field of AI entirely, so in general, we just say ChatGPT is a large language model, Gemini is a large language model, and Claude is a large language model, and other tools are also available, by the way. So these are large language models, right? Now, any doubts till now, guys? We discussed about some basic fundamentals. We discussed about large language models. We discussed about real life examples related to AI. Any doubts till now? Anything that you would like to ask or share, guys? Write yes or no in the chat box. So, do we call ChatGPT as LLM? Absolutely. In a generic way, you can call ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or any other tool like Perplexity, all as LLM. In a generic way, you can call that. Absolutely. Absolutely, Shivansh. Perfect. Any other questions, Shivansh, you are having? Sir, I have not logged. No issues, no issues. We will be discussing on this. Right now, I have just showcased you these tools just for the reference purpose in order to explain you like what a LLM is, large language model is. Right now, we are not discussing on a very detailed level. We are just discussing on a very normal level, right? On a surface level that these are large language models, right? Perfect. So we won't be discussing all the things today itself. We will be keeping some things for tomorrow also. But before we leave, the first homework I have just given is you need to research, you need to analyze what are the real life examples where AI is getting used. Second, that you can tell me right now, and this is again your homework will also. So, can you just tell me right quickly in the chat box that you use ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, or any other tool, any other LLM you use? So, you use that online or offline? Online, you need internet access or without internet access? You use online or offline? Online. Okay. How about others? How about Devik and Gautam? You use ChatGPT, Gemini, or any other tool online or offline? Devik is also writing online. How about Gautam? Online? Gautam? Gautam, you use ChatGPT, Gemini, or any other tool online or offline? Online. So three of you have said that you use all these tools online. Perfect. My another question to you is there any possibility that I can use a large language model offline also? And if yes, how? No, no idea. Okay. How about Devik? Gautam is writing no. Shivansh is no idea. No, we can't use. Okay. Okay. Good enough. So this is your homework number 2. You need to research for this. I will give you the answer tomorrow in the class, but you need to research that is it possible to use large language models. I'm not talking about this ChatGPT particularly, large language model. It can be other model also. So, is it possible to use it offline also? This is your homework too that you need to research on at your own. I will be discussing this in the class. I will be showing you everything live. But again, you need to also research on this. So these two things you need to do, guys. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So we won't be stretching by hotspot. Again, it is online, na? Shivansh, it is online. By hotspot, if you are using, by Wi-Fi you are using, or mobile data you are using, again, all is online. I'm talking without the internet access. Is it possible to use a large language model? So that you need to figure it out at your own. We will be for sure discussing that in tomorrow's class, and I will be showing you everything live also, right? Perfect. So we will be keeping this class here itself. Impossible, no. Absolutely. Again, it's a homework. It's a homework, Gautam. Right? You need to research, at least just research on Google, ChatGPT, or wherever, right? And let me know about your answers, about your research, that what you find out, right? Right? Perfect. Perfect. So now, before we just leave, because we are almost done with today's topics, so before we just leave, let us just give some emphasis on what we will be discussing in the entire thing. Entire. Okay, so entire curriculum. So we discussed about this introduction to AI, machine learning, and deep learning. I'm just giving you a rough idea, right? What we will be going through. Sir, Meta AI is a LLM. Yes, it can be a LLM. Yes, it is a LLM. Absolutely. Meta, when you interact with the Meta AI, na, it's LLM. Absolutely. So we will be discussing about prompt engineering, right? We will be discussing about creating custom GPTs. All AI tools are LLM? No, 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 no. All AI tools are not LLM. AI tools are different AI tools. We will be discussing some tools that are for video creation, for maybe speech creation. We will be discussing how you can create websites also, games also with the help of AI, how you will be creating voice calling agents with the help of AI, right? We will be discussing how you can create songs also with the help of AI. A lot of things we will be doing. So all are generative AI tool. Again, let me just give you some more emphasis on this. We will be discussing all the tools in this program, that is generative AI. Generative AI, now what this is generative AI? As the word suggests, generative. So generative is, that means generate. We are generating something new from the something that we already have. It can be text to image, text to video, text to speech, text to website, text to songs, right? So generative AI tools we will be discussing in this entire program. This is all about this. Prompt engineering also we will be discussing. So you can say that all tools will be generative AI, right? But not all tools are LLM, right? Perfect. So that's all, right? Anything that you would like to share or ask, please feel free to write in the chat box, guys. Yeah. No. Okay. How about Devik and Shivansh? Anything that you would like to ask or share? No. Okay. How about Shivansh? Okay. Krishna. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, Krishna, anything that you would like to ask or share? No. Okay, perfect. So just complete these two homeworks. First is research for the, I must say, real case scenarios, real case use cases for the AI, where AI is getting used. Second is it even possible to use a large language model in offline space? Like offline, can we use it? So that two things you need to research, and we'll get back to you in another class, in the next class, with some interesting things to discuss. Perfect. So I'll be ending this class. By the time, take care, good night, and we'll meet you in the next class, guys. Hello, guys. Bye bye.